When you're trying to understand anything in life, it's very helpful to look in the Torah at the very first time that that idea or that concept is mentioned. The first time that the Jewish people as a nation fight a war of any type is at the very end of this week's Parsha. The Jewish people have left Egypt, all of the plagues and the miracles and the parting of the sea, and all of a sudden, our very first occurrence situation that we're faced with is a war. We're faced with a war against a nomadic tribe called Amalek, and Amalek attacks and tries to destroy us. It's our first war. So what can we see? What can we learn about that war that we can apply to our current situation? Well, it's strange, because if you read the verses over there, it sounds almost miraculous. It says that they were fighting this war and they were losing, and then Moses would lift his hands up in the air, and when his hands were up in the air, we were doing really well, we were victorious, we were crushing the enemy. When his hands went down, we would start to lose and take casualties, and then they came up with this idea to prop his hands up the whole time, and his hands stayed up, and we fought the war, and we won. We won our first war. There were ups and downs, but we were victorious in the end. But what's with the hands? Was this some kind of miracle, some kind of magic trick that Moshe's hands would succeed, help us to succeed or fail in the war? So the Talmud actually talks about this, and it says, no, don't think that Moshe's hands were some magical miracle experience. The Talmud tells us there's something very deep. There's a deep message going on. What the Torah is trying to tell us is that when Moshe's hands were in the air, it's symbolic of the fact that the Jewish people, the nation that was fighting this war, were looking upwards. We're looking towards Hashem, meaning that there was a recognition, a realization, an understanding that our success or our failure in this battle is only going to depend ultimately on one thing, on the will of Hashem. It was a statement of emunah, a statement of belief, of confidence and trust in Hashem's desire to protect his people and his ability to save us from our enemies. So when Moshe's hands were up in the air, and we're looking up in the air, and we're realizing this unique connection and this special relationship that we have with Hashem, and that Hashem is guiding us in a unique fashion to our ultimate destiny in the land of Israel, we win. We're winning. We're defeating. When Moshe's hands go down, and we look downwards, and we forget that our success and failure in war is only to the degree that we have that intense spiritual relationship and connection with God, then we start to lose in the battle. This is an incredibly important message right now. We have to fight this war. We have to continue this war. And we have to use all of our normal, typical things that any nation would do. We have to have a strong army, which we do. We have to have strong diplomacy, which we do. But ultimately, whether we're going to win this war or we're not, is not going to depend on the 2,000-pound bombs that we get from America. And it's not going to depend on what the White House decides or doesn't decide, or what the administration is going to allow us to do or not allow us to do. Ultimately, what's going to allow us to win this war, and we will win this war, and we will defeat our enemies all around us who want to destroy us. But what's going to get us there, and what's going to help us and expedite this process is our emunah, our understanding and awareness that we are a unique people in this world, that Hashem has singled us out with a specific destiny, with a specific role to play in history. And it's our deep connection to Torah and the values of Torah and what God has given us and what he's given us that makes us unique, that's going to ultimately decide and determine for us how fast we win this war and how successful we can be and how permanent the results of this war may be. So although we're very excited and sort of, drunk on the excitement of what's going on right now and in the world and the diplomacy and everything that's happening, and it seems like Israel's moving in a great direction, that's wonderful. But ultimately, we have to keep our eyes up. We have to look at Moshe's hands in the air, in the sky, look up towards Hashem, and understand that it's our emunah, it's our trust in Hashem, and it's our belief and our conviction and our commitment to the principles and values of the Torah that make us special and unique, that allow us to be a light to the world, to be a light unto the nations, That's what's going to allow us to win this war. That's how we're going to get there. As Menachem Begin once famously said, it's not in the merit of our strength that we win our wars, but it's in the strength of our merit. Our deep connection to God and our Torah and our principles and our values. The stronger we hold on to those, the more we look up in the air and we see and we remember and we have that connection to Hashem. Please God, that's what's going to allow us to win this war. And we'll win it, and we'll win it soon, and then we'll be able to move on and bring that light to the world as we have the amazing ability to do. That's all we want to do, right? We just want to create and innovate and bring goodness into the world and share that light with the world and ultimately fulfill our purpose as a nation. Wishing everyone a wonderful Shabbos, Shabbat Shalom from Yerushalaim.